If we counted one star to each second, it would be necessary to live more than 100 of human lives to know how many stars contain our galaxy. At naked eyes, we can observe only a couple thousand suns, a tiny fraction corresponding to the stars of the Milky Way, more brighter or closest to us. On warm summer evenings, we will see our galaxy all majestic. For this, you must travel to far areas from great cities, in the week when the moon travels close to the sun. From north to south, you'll be surprised as the great night star cloud hovers over us, immersed in a fog formed by droplets of stars, which causes an unbelievable feeling of joining with the cosmos. Above your head, at the zenith, highlights Vega, the second brightest star in the Northern Hemisphere. Stretch your arm and place your fist closed between Vega and the Hercules constellation, and you will find at the other end, to each star, very close to it, is the solar apex, a point in the sky towards solar system move over 20 kilometers per second. Vega, Altair, and Deneb, alpha stars of Lyra, Aquila, and Cygnus constellations, shine over our heads most of the summer nights. 3 stars, 3 points, 3 vertex used to form the famous summer triangle. This shape set us in one of the most interesting places of the sky. Between Vega and Altair, and a third below the latter, we observe, with the simple binoculars, the cluster Cylindra 399, in Vulpecular constellation domains, a remarkable hook-shaped asterism, formed by 10 stars, and extend the space of 2 full moons. Vega is the benchmark star of July's sky, its brightness and its beautiful white-blue glow, typical of a white star 50 times brighter than the sun. Nearest lies the Epsilon Lyra, a star that only a few privileged can see at naked eyes as a double system. That's what most of us see only with binoculars, but in fact, surprise us to know that every star forms another double star system, a beautiful image of the famous double-double, within reach of small telescopes. Among the stars Beta and Gamma, halfway appears M57, the Ring Nebula. The gaseous structure of this planetary nebula is actually spherical. The inside shines in the ultraviolet, the outside in infrared, and only the ring shining in the visible spectrum, which is actually the edge of a cylinder viewed from its axis. The star that originated this nebula died thousands of years ago, but its skeleton remains, a white dwarf, visible in the center of the ring with telescopes of greater than 20 inches openings. The only globular cluster in the constellation is M56, small and not very bright, however, contrasts with the rich field of stars throughout the telescope shows us what that is extraordinarily far off us, 45,000 light-years away. When birds migrate, often fly over the river courses on its long journey. Similarly, on the white river of Milky Way stars, also seem to fly the asterisms of the eagle and the swan. That is why these constellations contain very dense stellar fields, mixed with very dark rays. The function to absorption nebulae, prevent the passage of light from the stars which lie behind them. The Eagle constellation through a dark dust clouds area, known as the Great Rifts. Some of these clouds are so peculiar, as Nebula E, a dark spot with the shape of a letter, and it is composed by the Barnard 142 and 143 nebulae. Their apparent size in the sky is the same as the full moon, visible with binoculars in very dark skies. The bright star hazard will guide us to locate it. Altair, Alpha of Eagle, is a peculiar star with high-speed rotation, 120 times greater than the Sun, which has induced an exaggerated flattening at the poles. NGC 6709 is a beautiful open cluster with Y shape, located 3,500 light-years from us. It is visible with binoculars. NGC 6755 is an open cluster, where we will count about 25 stars with telescopes of 70 mm. However, with larger telescopes, actually we discover that is a double cluster. Just 25 minutes away, appear 2-hour eyepiece, NGC 6756, another open cluster, whose finding will be determined by 3 little stars aligned with him. The Great Swan fly from north to south on the Milky Way, over an area known as the Swan Hole. This is one of the most beautiful areas of the northern sky. Situation on the galactic plane be able full of nebulae and star fields. We strongly suggest to you, scroll through binoculars, the largest line of the cross of Cygnus, from Deneb to Albaria, finishing you've come a long way sky at the speed of light, remaining still. Deneb, the swan tail, is the alpha star of the constellation. It is 1,200 times brighter than Vega, but shines less than her, and that's because Deneb is 80 times farther than Vega from us. Very close to Deneb lies the famous North American Nebula and Pelican Nebula. It's obvious similar to the geographical area and to the land bird, because have named the nebulas NGC 7000 and IC 5070. The stars located in this area of the universe are surrounded by molecular hydrogen, ionized by the stellar radiation action, and recombine, cause the visible reddish only visible in astrophotographies. Apparent size is 12 full moons. Observation at naked eye in very dark skies is amazing. The Veil Nebula is a supernova remnant, located between the stars Epsilon Cygni and Zeta Cygni, bordering the constellation Vulpecula. With a 3-square-degree size, it is impossible to fit it into the wide telescope eyepiece. Then, this observation is making a tour of this sky area, NGC 6992 and NGC 6960 components, also called witch's broom. In the center lies a double star 52 Cygni, showing a yellow color of the main star. The low blue brightness of secondary star is not visible. We needed large aperture telescopes, and special filters adapted to the eyepiece to be able observing that wonder. One of the most beautiful double stars in the sky is Albaria, certainly. The telescope shows a couple whose components, orange and blue, do not show real colors. The orange-red of the first, for visual contrast, changes authentic bluish-white color of the second. Watching the stillness of the sky over your head, and discover the motion of the earth under your feet.